Catherine Wines, 421 Railroad Street. I already spoke once, but I think I want to just kind of tack on to what Dusty's saying. I appreciate WC3. I think they're easy to get on the phone. They're fairly professional. Sometimes there's multiple questions that kind of ask the same thing, but that's okay. What I think it is more is, like Dusty said, there's kind of an attitude that it makes it very difficult to work in the city of Elko. Reese, I think I've told you this, Curtis, I know I've told you this, I think I've told Jeff this too. Cause I don't work on like large scale residential. The only residential I do is custom, and I actually do very little of it. I mostly work in the commercial sector, and if I implemented it about 5 years ago, that I charge 10% more when the project's in the city of Elko, just because it's gonna be that hard to get something through those trailers. And it's not necessarily, I mean, it's not anything with the code. I can follow the code. It's the attitude. It's the nasty emails. It's the like, and I brought in an email that I sent to the building department on August 7th of 2021, and I think it's just a few paragraphs. I think this kind of states more so what I want to say than if I just get up here and ramble. So I'm just going to read this to you. If you will indulge me for a moment, I would like to explain my perspective, not as an architect of a unique existing building, but as a customer of the Elko Building Department. I'm sure you know I have had conversations with people in city management and on the council about grievances with your office. I always explain to them it's not what is being said, it's how it is said. I feel like I am treated like a criminal by people in your office, like I'm trying to do something shady or get away with something nefarious, and your office is not going to let me get away with it. Where did that come from? I have never tried to maliciously do something to a project or for a client that would be against the law. That would be so incredibly stupid of me. Of course I make mistakes, we all do, but they are never with malice or ill intent, and they are never worthy of the nasty, condescending, accusatory responses I often get from your office. When I've had conversations with other city staff and council in the past, I always like to start with a little story about when I first started my business. I opened our 6th studio in 2008. Shortly after, I had a question about a project and went to the building department to talk to Ted about it. After we got done with the project, we visited about life for a while, as we often did. As I was leaving, Ted said to me, "Catherine, you can call on the phone. You don't need to come all the way down here for this stuff." And I said to him, "Ted, I like coming down here. I'm in the office all day by myself. Sometimes it's nice to get out and talk to people in person." He said, "Well then come anytime." It was actually really fun to work in the city of Elko and with the Elko Building Department. We had a good relationship, we built good stuff. Safety and necessary regulation was never compromised because of relationships with the building department, and the construction industry was respectful and courteous. I'm sure you are aware most design professionals carry errors and omissions insurance, and contractors are required to carry incredible amounts of liability insurance and licensing in order to work in our disciplines. That's because we carry almost all of the liability for building projects. In many cases, that liability will be with me until my death. The building department has a responsibility to the public, but carries no liability unless mistakes are made with malicious intent. You are not required to carry $1 million of liability insurance like I am. It is hard to understand why the approach from your office is often opposite and sometimes hostile. You don't have to protect the public from me. I am required to do that on my own, and I won't be in business very long if I don't. Amazingly, I have worked in 14 different counties in this state, and I'm currently working, this was in 2021, I am currently working in 7 different jurisdictions.